Welcome to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt. Today we are talking about the 2 releases for Barrel King in April 2024, one of which happens to be my very first blend as Chief Tasting Officer and Master Blender for Barrel King. That is batch 81, but first, batch 65 will be made available to Barrel King Gold members in April. This is a blend of 21% rye MGP bourbon and 45% wheat MGP bourbon. There you go. As you see by the label, it says knighted on it. That means that this bourbon was finished in rare ex-bourbon barrels. Also, my apology for my speaking and the look of my face because still in the middle of these oral surgeries, and for a while I'm gonna be a bit awkward, but the show must go on. Batch 65 was finished in OWA, Stag Junior, and Russell's Reserve barrels. Let's go in for a nose on this knighted batch 65. This reminds me of Ben & Jerry's Cherry Garcia ice cream. It has a lot of sweet, bright cherries and chocolate on the nose. Some red vines, a little bit of strawberry hard candy. A very sweet and tantalizing nose. Now let's go in for a sip and see how she goes. Yeah. That was good. In the future, when I get my forever teeth, everything is gonna be back to normal. I'm gonna be tasting like a friggin' champion, but I'm still getting accustomed to tasting with this temporary upper prosthetic like tooth arrangement I got going on here, and it makes tasting a bit tricky. This has a nice baker's chocolate to it, like a baker's chocolate and dehydrated cherries. There's a bright citrusy note at the front of the palate, and then as it works its way back, it turns into more of like a baker's chocolate, waffle cone, and then an oaky finish. I feel like the wheated bourbon that's in this blend really shines on the front of the palate. It's like a sunrise on the tip of your tongue, and then as the sun sets on the back, it's setting behind a glorious number 4 charred oak log that's heated as our life source dips below the horizon. Batch 65, super friggin' solid. Now let's move to batch number 81. Batch number 81 is the first batch of Barrel King that I blended as their Chief Tasting Officer and Master Blender. It comes in at 102.2 proof, is an 8-barrel blend, and yielded roughly 1,100 bottles. 81 was the most points Kobe Bryant ever scored in a game, and batch 81 might be my highest scoring pour when it comes to things I've blended in 2024, because it's the only thing I've blended so far this year, and I am super stoked about it. America. When approaching this blend, I knew that whatever I put together, we were going to have rest in Elijah Craig 23 barrels for a given amount of time. With other Barrel King Knighted releases, we've been able to see the effects of a Stag Junior barrel and Willet Purple Top barrels. I've had enough experience with those secondary finishes that you can kind of anticipate what it's going to do to the whiskey. In this situation, using Elijah Craig 23 barrels that were freshly dumped, I did not know what to expect. So when I put this blend of 9 and 7-year MGP bourbon together, I wanted it to be a very clean, traditional, well-rounded, and soft blend that would be able to take on the characteristics of the Elijah Craig 23 barrels and really let those barrels impart some flavor on this clean palate of 7 and 9-year MGP bourbon. And I believe that the base blend that I created for batch 81 was just that. 90% of the blend is 9-year-old 21% rye MGP bourbon, and the remaining 10% of this blend is the same 21% rye mash bill bourbon between 7 and 8 years of age. Choosing the barrels to create a flavor profile isn't exactly easy, and it's not like super scientific. From what I've experienced, barrels that taste super similar can actually have a drastically different effect when you put them into a blend of other bourbon. And that's kind of what happened here. I built a very strong base of 9 and 7-year-old MGP bourbon that I really enjoyed. But part of this blending game is being able to create something large enough to make a big enough batch to meet the demand. So although I was very happy with the base blend, I needed to add a couple more barrels to it in order to get this yield up to where I needed. Luckily for me, I was able to find a couple barrels that not only made the batch bigger, but made the batch better and rounded out the flavor profile and smoothed out the palate in exactly the way I was hoping before I put it in the Elijah Craig 23 barrels to rest. And rest they did. but not for very long. You would think that these bourbons would have to sit in used barrels for a long period of time for the barrel to have an effect on the whiskey, but that's not true. This blend went in and out of Elijah Craig 23 barrels 3 times, but not for a matter of months or weeks, but we're talking days. And the flavor imparted from the barrel on this whiskey, phenomenal. By the way, this is the second time I've shot this video. The first time I shot this video, I did not have my microphone on. And anytime you reshoot a video that you've already shot, it feels so awkward because you're repeating the same things you said in the first video while trying not to look like you're repeating them, which is so difficult. That, along with my mouth issues with speaking and looking proper, this video is a rough one to make. Just wanted to let you know that. So if this seems weird, it's because we've already done this once before. Then I got very upset when I realized that the video looked like this. Wow. It's amazing how much this blend changes once the bottle's open. After a few days of being open, this bourbon turns into like a really tropical, glorious, wonderful experience. On fresh crack, it smells fantastic, but you give it a few days and it gets very tropical. I told Jared that it reminded me of tropical trail mix, the ones with like banana nut chips and dried pineapple and raisins. And he was like, dude, you were so right about the tropical trail mix. And that's what I'm getting on here. Strange that those flavors came from an Elijah Craig 23 barrel, but so damn good. I can smell the pineapple, I can smell the banana chips, I can smell like the salted sunflower seeds and the raisin. It's like so good and so there. I'm so happy with the way this smells. Now let's go for a taste down the hatch. That was a big sip. That's a finisher. 112.2 proof, which is cask strength, but it has an extremely long and lingering finish. The tropical trail mix note that was on the nose is transferred to the palate if that trail mix were encased inside a super duper charred oak barrel filled with amazing MGP bourbon. If I had my own horn, I wouldn't want to toot it, but I'm very happy with this. If I were tasting this blind, I don't know exactly where I would place it on the age scale, but depending on the day, I could see myself saying 12, I could see myself saying 16. So let's call it right in the middle and say, to me, this could pass easily for a 14-year-old bourbon. Now going back to the nose, and I'm picking up on some Australian red licorice, the good stuff. I'm not the type of person to like scream from the rooftops how good anything that I'm involved with is. I'm never gonna look into the camera and tell you, hey, this is the best thing on the planet. I can't believe I've created something so phenomenal. I'm a whiskey genius. I'm the whiskey king. Well, wait, I might say that, but I'm never gonna be the type of person that thinks that what I've made is anything groundbreaking or extraordinary. So I wanna let this blend speak for itself. I wanna let you, the people out there, tell me what you think about it, because I do think it is very good. I think that it is something I should be proud of, something that I don't feel like embarrasses the Barrel King name because of all the fantastic things that have come out of there, which is a concern of mine. I don't want to be the guy who, you know, poops the bed when it comes to blending whiskey for a company who has an amazing track record of producing fantastic whiskey. Do I think that it is a unique blend of a Barrel King product? Yes. Does it taste like a lot of other things that have come from Barrel King? No. My approach to blending and Jared's approach to blending are different. Couple that with the Elijah Craig 23 barrels, and it's just a different animal. It's a different thing. It's like a really fuzzy, cute pig that sits in a tree with fuzzy, and you think it's extra cute, but you don't want to pet it because it might just bite. Batch 81 is like a koala boar, just a different animal. But I do think you will enjoy it. I think that you will like it, and I sincerely hope that you love it. If you want to get in on Batch 81, which is my blend, or Batch 65, both of these bottles will be available to Gold members in April, and you can find the link to become a Gold member at the top of the description below. I want to say thank you to Jared and Rachel at Barrel King for giving me the opportunity to blend whiskey for them. And I want to thank the rest of the Barrel King team down in Bourbon, Missouri for taking care of this for me, for putting it in those barrels, for pulling it, for tasting it, for boxing samples up, for sending them out, and just for being an amazing group of people. I can't wait to meet you guys this summer when I make my maiden voyage to Bourbon, Missouri. And mostly I want to thank all of you viewers for always supporting me and being a part of everything I do. It means a lot, and without you, I'd literally be driving a bus. So thank you everybody for always being there for me and showing me love and support and just being an awesome, awesome community. Can't thank you enough. Literally means the world. That's gonna do it for this video. I hope everybody has an amazing Easter, a great weekend, and we'll see you in the next video. Love you all so much. Become a gold member. Solid gold.